Morning. Excuse me. Good morning. San Francisco's future starts with our families. If we want to be a city where every child can thrive, we must support our kids and parents at every stage of life. Today, we are taking another major step in our work to support San Francisco's families by ensuring every child has the strongest possible start in life. We know how important a child's first year is. It shapes their physical well-being and cognitive development. If we can get that first year right for a child, we can change the course of their future. And if we do that for all our children, we can change the future of our city. But we also know that for some San Francisco families, pregnancy, birth, and infancy have involved painful loss and heartbreak. As a city, we spend more than $20 million on maternal and infant health outcomes every year. But despite that commitment, too many families still experience preventable loss. In San Francisco, Black babies are born preterm at nearly twice the citywide average and make up 20% of infant deaths, despite accounting for only 4% of all births. That is unacceptable. As a city, we must act with urgency to address these preventable tragedies. That is why I am proud to announce Strong Starts, a new citywide effort to improve maternal and infant health outcomes so that every child in San Francisco has the strongest possible start in life. Strong Starts will bring city departments together in a new format, aligning strategy, data, and accountability to better respond to community needs and reduce preterm birth rates and maternal and infant mortality. And we will focus on the communities facing the greatest disparities, including our Black and American Indian and Pacific Islander families. In partnership with the Department of Public Health, the Human Rights Commission, the Department on the Status of Women, and the Department of Early Childhood, we will bring together city departments to drive towards shared goals and improved outcomes for our San Francisco families. Through Strong Starts, we will also re-examine the way the city funds and delivers services to reduce preterm births and maternal and infant morbidity and mortality. We will align programs around shared goals, strengthen coordination across agencies, and ensure that our resources are driving measurable impact. With a $1 billion budget deficit, we will pursue every dollar available from Sacramento to DC. We will improve early connections to care, expand culturally responsive prenatal and postpartum services, strengthen support for caregivers, and take steps to address the social drivers of health, from food security to housing stability. And we will convene regularly, track key indicators, and provide annual updates to the Board of Supervisors so we can measure progress and stay accountable to the families they serve. Getting families off to the right start is one of the most powerful ways we can shape San Francisco's future. It's why we launched our Family Opportunity Agenda to make San Francisco more affordable. It is why we make sure every family in San Francisco has access to quality childcare. And it's why we signed our family zoning plan, a generational roadmap to build housing our families need so the next generation can afford to raise their children in the city that they love. Today, we take the next step in our plan to make San Francisco a place where families can thrive. From housing to childcare to food security, we are building a comprehensive strategy so families are supported from day one. We will continue building housing for our workers, supporting working families, and investing in the services that help children and parents thrive. I want to especially thank Supervisors Myrna Melgar and Supervisor Shimon Walton for their leadership in this effort to support our San Francisco's families. We appreciate your close partnership on this initiative and your tireless work to ensure the city does better for our moms and babies from day one. And now I'd like to introduce District 7 Supervisor Myrna Melgar.
Thank you so much, Mayor Lurie. Thank you for taking this seriously. Thank you to your team, Kunal and Peggy, Director Tsai, Dr. Baba, and I want to give a special shout out and thanks to Brittany Shikwata from the Human Rights Agency, who has been working on this for many, many years since she was an aide at the Board of Supervisors. Of course, Director Mesquita in the Department of Early Childhood. The data really speaks for itself, and it is shameful, friends. It is shameful that in a city as resourceful as San Francisco, we have the worst birth disparities by race in the state of California. For many years, health experts and community advocates have been leading this effort to close the gaps. We have not seen the outcomes. It is such a small population. It is really just doable. It is never too late to right a wrong thing. It is never too late to right the wrongs that have been historically committed against the Black community here in San Francisco. We have to stand by our words with actions, with outcomes. When we talk about the city's rising comeback, when we talk about public health, vibrant communities, community safety, educational and economic outcomes, it all connects back on how we treat our babies, our most vulnerable, those who are starting out in our city, our most vulnerable residents. Before they're even born, how we support their birthing parents. This is a solvable crisis and one that deserves to be sustained with attention, resource, and evidence-based programs. So to the members of the media here today, thank you for covering this. It doesn't get as much attention as it deserves. Please continue to spotlight these issues. Hold us accountable as a city because if we cannot fulfill this promise to eliminate disparities in birth outcomes, what does it say about society, about how we treat each other? I want to take a moment and thank and pay my respects to those who have been fighting for this effort for so many years and who do God's work in caring for moms, for birthing parents, for their babies. Dr. Zaya Malawa and all the health advocates and providers, the doulas, the midwives, the parents, the coaches, the case managers, the support network folks who have been working fiercely day in and day out and were ringing alarm bells for so many years. We know this is long overdue, and I remain committed to sticking through the work that we need to do in the upcoming months to make sure that we don't fall short again to the promises left again unfulfilled. It's not going to happen under our watch. So our mothers, our birthing parents, our babies deserve the strongest start of their lives. I again thank you, Mayor Lurie, for taking this seriously. And it is my great pleasure to now introduce one of my fiercest colleagues who has been sounding the alarm for all these years and always on the right side of community, my dear friend and colleague, District 10 Supervisor Shaman Walton.
Thank you, Supervisor Melgar. Good morning. The only way to really solve a problem is, one, to recognize that it exists. And I am excited about us coming together as a city and realizing that the outcomes around expecting births here in San Francisco and the disparities are deplorable. And that data speaks for itself, and it's something that we need to do everything possible to come together to fix and change those outcomes. Just to give you an example, and we know this exists obviously for our Pacific Islander families, our Native American mothers who are expecting, but I'm just going to give you a couple of data points. Black mothers face a 200% higher risk of preterm births versus white expecting mothers here in this city, and 5.6 deaths per 1,000 births versus 2.1 for their white counterparts here in San Francisco. And so we know this is completely unacceptable, especially since Black births only account for 4% of births here in San Francisco. Now is the perfect time to bring these and other disparities to the forefront for the entire city, especially as we go into budget season. In 2020, working with then Supervisor Fewer and colleagues on the Board of Supervisors, we actually carved out a couple $1 million to address disparities, working closely with the Department of Public Health and, of course, our partners in community. And our office will continue to do that work and continue to fight to put those resources in the right place. But I am excited to be here with Supervisor Melgar, to be here with the Mayor's office, to be here with our Department of Early Education, to be here with the Department of the Status of Women, to be here with the Human Rights Commission, to really focus on a coordinated effort, and of course to be here with our Mayor's office. Strong Starts is something that is important. Having a name for the work that we plan to do to address these disparities is very important, as we want to make sure that people understand that this is a priority for San Francisco. So I want to thank all of you for being here and for coming together and understanding how important this work is. We cannot just provide lip service, but we really have to come together, put resources where our mouth are, put the work where our mouth is, and get together and do this the right way. And I am proud to introduce one of our major partners on the front line. They've been doing the work. They've been working with our doulas. They've been calling out these disparities for years, and I am so glad to have them partnering with us in this work. The Executive Director of Sister Web, Marley I.
Good morning, everyone. It's great to be here, to see all these faces and advocates and people who are ready to make a change in San Francisco. I want to start with the truth. And that truth is that community organizations have been doing this work for years. Long before today, long before this initiative had a name, and long before maternal health equity became a city priority. Black-led, community-rooted organizations have been walking with families through pregnancy, birth, and postpartum. We've built trust where systems have failed. We have reduced stress where systems created it. And we have improved outcomes where systems overlooked them. And we have the data to prove it. When culturally congruent doulas are present, outcomes improve. When families receive wraparound support, preterm birth decreases. When care reflects community, babies are born stronger. That's not a theory. That is practice. We have seen it. And yet, you've heard the stats. Black babies in San Francisco are still born premature. Black babies are still dying, and Black mothers are still suffering. This is something that we have to change. We cannot call that progress. We also cannot reduce this to a provider problem. It is the health disparities created by the systems that we live in. They are created by fragmented funding, siloed departments, misaligned priorities, and a lack of accountability. So this is not just a health issue. This is a human rights issue. The right to begin life with dignity should not depend on race. Every family deserves the right to a safe pregnancy, a supported birth, and a healthy start, without the gaps based on race. So equity means no gaps, not smaller gaps, not improving the gap, but eliminating that gap completely. That is the standard. That is what we're working towards, and we will not stop until we reach that goal. So what makes Strong Starts important for us is not simply that it acknowledges the problem, because we all know it exists. It's that the community has been naming this problem for years, and now this is a moment and an opportunity for accountability. Alignment across departments will help this problem. Shared outcomes will help us reach these goals. Transparent reporting will show us where we're working and where we need to make the improvements. And community oversight is always what is necessary, because that's who we are serving. If we are investing in public dollars, we must demand public results. Community organizations have carried this work with heart, rigor, measurable impact, and now we need the full weight of the city aligned behind these clear goals and responsible for delivering them. Accountability is not blame. Accountability is a commitment, and commitment is what builds trust. We know in this city we have to rebuild the trust with our most disadvantaged communities, and starting at birth is the place to get that trust. So we look to the future with optimism, because when community expertise is respected and systems are aligned, change happens. St. John Coltrane said, "I want to be a force for real good." That is what we're asking of our systems today. Not good intentions, but real good, measurable, visible good. So we're ready. We've been ready. And we are excited that the city is ready and our partners and these different organizations are ready to come together as one. We're ready for thriving births. We're ready for thriving families. And we're ready for a San Francisco where a child's race no longer predicts their risk. Healthy beginnings are a foundation of a healthy city. So let's make strong starts a turning point, not just in language, but in outcomes. Thank you very much. And at this time, I want to bring to you all the beauty of this work. We have with us a Sister Web client, also a Sister Web doula, and an apprentice who has been so impacted by this support that she now wants to come out and do this for the community. So let's give a hand for Nicolette Hafiz.
Good morning, you all. There we go. All right. Good morning, and thank you all for being here. I just want to share with you my story and express to you the importance in supporting maternal health. I grew up as the eldest of four, learning early on how to care for others. And that sense of responsibility shaped me into a fiercely independent adult and later a single mother who learned to keep moving often without rest or rarely asking for any type of help or support. During my most recent pregnancy, I faced several challenges that led me to Sister Web. I became a client approximately 31 weeks pregnant, and from the very beginning, I was met with warmth, care, and intention. For the first time in a long time, I was given space to slow down, to breathe, and to fully feel supported, and I actually felt heard. My doula, Jaya, provided not only emotional support, but critical knowledge about navigating the healthcare system, advocating for myself, and caring for myself postpartum. Her presence ensured that my voice mattered and that my needs were not overlooked. On the day that I gave birth, she helped me create the most peaceful, grounding environment that honored my wishes and my humanity. And to this day, that remains deeply meaningful to me. After my baby was born, our work together continued for a short time. My postpartum session took place at the cottage, and in that space, I experienced care beyond words could express. One person had my baby, a doula came, took my baby, and I had 3 other doulas supporting me, only me. My baby was in another room, being taken care of, being tended to, being loved, and I was being held. I was being supported. I was being acknowledged. And that moment forever changed my life. It showed me what community-centered and culturally responsive care actually felt like and looked like. That experience inspired me to pursue doula training through a course, Blossoming Birth, that is now a accredited course in City College. And through this program, I learned that birth work is not just about labor and delivery. It's actually community work. It's self-work and it's justice work. The training was rigorous, thanks to our, it was grounding and transformative. It challenged me to think beyond myself and actually towards collective care. I am deeply grateful to Sister Web for creating an accessible pathway into birth work. And because of Blossoming Birth, I've chosen to continue my education, and I am currently currently enrolled as a medical assistant student, so that I can fully serve our community as a well-rounded doula, and to also be better informed. And so today I stand here as a client turned student, and now a Sister Web doula apprentice, living proof of what is possible when communities invest in care, education, and equity. Thank you.
Do we have any questions from any members of the press that are in attendance? No. Okay.
Thank you all very much. We appreciate it. Thank you, Supervisor Walton, Supervisor Myrna, Melgar. Thank you.